Hey guys, if you read the title, then you already know what this video is about. I don't know how to film this. I'm gonna grab my phone. It's 4:44 right as we start this video. And I just know that is my spirit guides here with me, telling me that this is something that needs to be said and talked about. And I know everybody is talking about it right now, but we need all voices who are willing to speak up. This is a video I did not see myself sitting down and filming, and not because I was ashamed of what happened, but because it did take me a while to process because of the situation as a whole, which I'm gonna get into. I am coming here to stand with women and people with uteruses and their rights to their own bodies. At the end of the day, abortion is healthcare. I am pro-choice and I support abortion in all cases. It is our body, our choice. Okay, sorry if the camera's moved. I needed to take a break. I haven't even started the video, but I don't even know where to begin. I came out last year, which has been a journey in itself, and through that I have identified that I'm only interested in women. I've now come to realize that I'm not attracted to cisgendered men, and this is something that was clear in my inner circle and honestly all throughout social media. I feel like I'm pretty vocal about it. Obviously sexuality is fluid, but this is where I'm at in my journey. I started rekindling with an ex of mine who is a man, and for some reason men love fetishizing lesbians. I hate that that's a reality. A lot of times when you say that you are gay, the response that is given back to us is disgusting, and it's been vocalized to me many times by many men that that's a turn on, and somehow that gets lost in communication where they think that they still have a chance. And the ex that I was talking to was no different. For months he was begging to sleep with me again. It came up in every conversation, and unfortunately he was in our friend group at the time, and even though he was very obviously breaking my boundaries, I at the time did not have enough respect for myself to respect my own boundaries and cut him out of my life. I just kept writing it off because I just kept saying no, and I thought eventually he would get the message. He then started offering me money for sex, and that didn't change my answer. I continuously was saying no and asking him to please stop asking me. Fast forward, we had our friends over, we were all under the influence, and the next morning I woke up in bed with him. It was not something that I consented to while sober, and that was something that was made very clear over months and months. I felt disgusted, even though yes, I have obviously been with men before. That was under my permission. I've been in the closet for so long. I came out at 20 something, and I don't know how else to explain the feeling outside of it just being wrong. Fast forward to when I started getting symptoms of pregnancy, I had absolutely no idea. I had a dream about a pregnancy test, and one of my coworkers actually had a dream that I was pregnant as well, which is just wild. It's not important to the story, but anyway, that still did not lead me to believe that I was pregnant. The symptoms started getting worse, and I remember talking to my friend about it, who happened to have a pregnancy test. I went in the bathroom and peed on it, and sure enough, I was pregnant. If you're new here, I am a single mom of 2. At the time, I was severely depressed. I was in the midst of trying to figure out what was going on with my mental health. I was fighting for the will to live every single day, and obviously not just for me, but for my kids. I don't have another option. I was not doing good financially. I was in the middle of trying to move states as I didn't feel safe in the one that I was currently in from past abuse that isn't related. I had a lot going on as a 22-year-old. I was working 2 jobs to make ends meet, and let me tell you how hard it is when you are a mother and your mental health is dropping. It is insanely difficult to raise 2 humans while you can't even fill up your own cup, because their childhood doesn't stop. These are the memories that they are forming. Here I am juggling absolutely everything, trying to heal my past traumas, be the best mom for them, be there for me, go to work, get enough sleep, eat, and just survive. This was not the environment to bring another child into. It would be selfish of me to bring another child into this environment. It would be selfish for my kids that already currently exist to bring another child into this environment. And I can't say what the future would have been, but I don't think I would be here if I continued that pregnancy. I wasn't able to go into work because I was so nauseous. It made my mental health spiral even more, adding hormones into the mix. And as a single mom of 2, I am well aware how important it is to be cautious with the person you choose to make babies with. Someone who is that comfortable and determined to go against my boundaries is not someone I want to have a baby with. And I could sure as hell tell you that with where my mental health was at the time, I would have not been the best mother to all 3 of those children. And that is not fair. And we're not even talking about other factors like my eating disorder that I've struggled with since I was a teenager, and how having a pregnancy could trigger me right back into that vicious cycle, which again leads me to not be the best mother that I could be for all of those children. At the end of the day, it is my body, my choice, and I chose to make that sacrifice so I could be here for my kids. One of my good friends, Rachel, who also had an abortion, says all the time that her abortion made her a better mom, and I couldn't agree more. It saved my life, and it saved my 2 kids' life. And I don't regret that. And now here I am in the future looking back on that and seeing the timeline of events, and it only got harder. That again, I could not imagine how I would have maneuvered that being pregnant. I think people also fail to realize pregnancy changes your body in so many ways. Maybe take that into account. And while yes, I'm completely comfortable in the skin that I have now, that was a journey, and people should have a choice in what happens to their body. My boobs aren't the same, my stomach isn't the same. I had SPD with August and was unable to walk. I was in a wheelchair towards the end of my pregnancy because I had an overload of the hormone relaxin. I had to be carried to go pee. And while yes, that's not guaranteed, that is still on the table. That is still something that I would have to think about. And as a mom, you are constantly looking for the future to make sure that you are prepared. How do I prepare for that? How do I prepare for maybe not being able to walk and still having to raise my 2 kids and still having to repair my mental health and still having to do all of the shit that comes with being an adult, trying to provide for my family? What then? What then? And I couldn't even imagine if I got postpartum depression, how I would function. I think it's crazy when I hear pro-life mothers say that they could never get an abortion because the love that they have with their child is so strong. But let me tell you that the love that I have for my children is so strong that I was able to make that sacrifice because I was able to identify what I can and cannot handle. And my kids deserve the best mother out there. My kids that are here now. My kids that are already connected and bonded with me. My kids who are looking forward to their future and look to me to provide that to them. And I work my ass off to do that, and I will continue to always put them first, while also taking care of me and being honest with myself with what future we would have if I were to continue that pregnancy. And for anyone out there that is struggling with that decision, don't let this background noise sway you into something you are uncomfortable with. It is a big decision. Keeping a child lasts a lifetime. It's not just 18 years. And I also want to add, again, as a single mom of 2, what the government provides as help for us is very little. I did get the abortion pill and it felt like a period. I didn't have insurance, so it was all out of pocket, which was $400 in Nevada. He told me that he would only pay half of it, which I was not standing for. My body is the one that has to go through this. My mind is the one that has to go through this. I wasn't able to work, and it wasn't my choice to have sex to begin with. And here he was complaining that if he spent $400 on this abortion, that he wouldn't be able to go on vacation. That is who could have been the father of my child. Someone who has already said time and time again that they didn't want to be a father and wouldn't be a good father. I went through the pain of a father abandoning me, and I see my kids go through that pain right now. And I'll be damned if I bring another kid into this world knowing that that is something that they're going to have to endure. It's not fair. And while yes, I was in a really shitty situation, you don't need any of these variables to have a right to your body. It's just disgusting. And it makes me so sad that this is the world I brought my kids into, because it's not one that I'm proud of. Roe versus Wade should have never been overturned. I was a teen mom and I chose to have the 2 kids that I have now, and that has altered my life completely. I struggled with finding my own identity for the longest time, and I of course don't regret my kids, but I am also well aware of how my life path has changed because of them. I'm not living the same life that every other 23-year-old out there is living, but it was my choice, and others should have a choice in how their life ends up turning out. So yeah, that is it for my video. I hope this opened some people's eyes as to why abortion is healthcare and why it should always be our choice.